Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Where is the cat? The cat is at my house, unfortunately. There's no cat here today. How are you? I have not done a live stream in a really long. Oh my god, that's way too fast. How am I supposed to follow this? Jesus Christ, that's a lot of messages. All at once. There's a lot of you. Wow. Kind of forgot how to do YouTube live streams. That's based. Hi from Serbia. I would say Serbia is a pretty cool place. One of my best employees was from Serbia. Really cool guy. His name was Milan. A scholar and a gentleman. How much of this chat is bots? Good question. I missed the fish stream. You know, the fish stream should still be going on the Koi channel. If you search for Rossmann Koi Group, you'll find that. I am not a bot. It was so easy to subscribe to your channel. Can you tell me how I can easily unsubscribe? You would send a certified mail letter using an envelope that matches the color of my balls directly to my address within the next 49 seconds. Then it must be received immediately. You must guess my middle name, and you must address it to the nickname that my ex-girlfriend used to call me 5 years ago, or else I will not accept it. And then maybe you'll be allowed to cancel. Okay, let's see, what do we have to discuss? Anything fun? A friend of my wife watches, and inform my wife I wasted money on my last super chat. Possibly. There are many ways to spend your money. Giving it to me is likely not the best use of it. This is not the most comfortable couch, and it really does have this casting couch feel to it that I can't get rid of. You know, my new assistant suggested that I use this to film with, and it's like, I don't know. It gives me it really does bring a Weinstein feel to the set, but okay. I should bring my trackball upstairs, because if I have my trackball, it'll be easier for me to scroll through things while reclining. Because right now, I can't read things without leaning forward, and that is aggravating a back injury that was pretty bad recently. That was no good. Walking downstairs to get my trackball. Let's find my trackball. The trackball is best ball. Trackball is best. Here we go. Getting my trackball. I like my trackball. I miss my trackball. So many freaking stairs, man. Trackball. Here we go. I wanted to ask if you would be interested in covering Minimed, based in California. They make insulin pumps for kids because of their shitty software endangers her. Email Lewis at Rossmann Group. No, not Lewis. YouTube at RossmannGroup.com. That's the one that I actually have somebody going to regularly. And I'll check it out. Hello from a Florida refugee from New York. How's it going? This is a strange angle. Huh. Didn't put much effort into my camera work today. I mean, not that I usually put much effort in my camera work anyway. There we go. That was much better. Been a fan for a long time. Love what you do and how you do. Have you considered starting a PeerTube instance for your videos as a backup? I was just talking about that today. There really needs to be a better ecosystem for all this, and I do want to look into that. What is the ecosystem as it exists? What could be done to make it better? One of my videos on you-know-who is not visible in Australia for defamation, which is very interesting to me because I'm talking about a convicted felon. I'm reading court records from their own government website, yet somehow that's defamation. So in order to allow people to get access to these videos that do not live in places that believe in free speech, I would like to do something about that. I've thought about it. Your channel opened my eyes to the BS companies trying on us. Thank you. You have a favorite camera brand? I like Sony simply because you can find full detailed schematics for their stuff. If Sony used to have this site, I'm not sure if it's still up. It looks like something from MSN.com in 1997, but I could buy every single internal component to the NEXEA50 I'm filming on right now. And for this NEXEA50, they have an over 70-page service manual. That's not only the schematic to the board of the camera, but exactly how to put everything back together, how everything sandwiches together. It's pretty cool. Most companies, I'm sure, suck in some way or another nowadays. It's quiet because I'm not using some sort of maximizer or live stream compressor because I was already 15 minutes late to the stream, and I don't want to waste my time on that shit right now. Like, fucking around with installing VST plugins in Linux is just not how I want to spend my day at the moment. But you do have a volume button, and if you turn it up, you'll hear everything much louder. I guarantee you that one. Audio is low. Yeah, not much I can do to help you there. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. Here, let's see. I'll give you... let's see. I'll give you... Can this bump? Can I do this? Can I do this? No. That doesn't do... Does that do anything? Yeah, it gives you 11 dB. Okay, you get 11 dB. That should be good. There you go. Yeah, you asked for it. Thank you for the $9.99 czar. 11 dB is distorted. Ah, well. Get a lapel mic. It's not the mic. It's me not having it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with me not putting a limiter or a compressor on the output like I usually do, because I don't feel like fucking with Carla and Linux Audio for a live stream. That's just not how I want to spend an afternoon, man. Favorite microphone for drum overheads? You can't go wrong with a single U87, really. Or if you don't have the money for a U87, you use Audio-Technica 4050. You don't like kick drum, snare drum, overhead. Kick, snare drum, overhead, room. I would go with that. AT4050 overhead. E602 E602 bass drum. Sennheiser 441 snare drum. U87 or 4050 for room mic in front of it. Works good. Please come on our show for an interview. Who are you? Let's see. Are you a psycho or are you a normal person? Let's see who you are. Elector TV. You seem normal enough. Yeah, email me, youtube@rossmanngroup.com. What are we donating to? The fund for Mr. Clinton the Cat's food. You used to make motivational videos and they were influential. If you want to keep this channel for Right to Repair stuff, why don't you make another channel for the other content? I need ideas on what to make, man. I make stuff when I feel like it. I make stuff when I'm feeling it. I didn't make a single video for almost 2 months because I just didn't really have anything to say. The shorts thing has honestly been fun. At first, I really did not enjoy doing them. And after the last one on Sony, I watched that and I thought, I'm really happy with how this came out. I like this. The process of making a short is annoying. So when I do a 15-minute video, it takes me 15 minutes because I record it and then I upload it. To make a 40-second video There's an hour of preparing what it's going to say, an hour of trying to film it so it shows up properly, 4 hours of editing and all this other crap, and yeah. Have you ever done stand-up comedy? No, no plans for that. Stop Killing Games is a cool person. I approve of everything Russ at Accursed Fonts is doing. Did I say Russ? Ross. How the hell could I misspeak the name of somebody who shares a portion of my name? Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry, man. I'm cooked. That's how you know I'm cooked. What do you think about Nvidia AD, how they treat retail and corp customers? I'm honestly surprised that they even sell GPUs to gamers. There is so much money to be made from the crypto people, and eventually that's going to bust. But there's so much money to be made with all the AI crap, and there is so much money there. I have no idea why they give a shit at all about normal, ordinary gamers. I'm not saying it's right that they treat you like shit. I'm just saying, with the amount of demand from all these different companies and all these different countries, buying up as many GPUs as possible for this AI race, arms race that they're doing, like, why should they care about you buying a $300 or $400 GPU that you may or may not break while installing, that you may or may not overclock and kill? Like, I'm not saying they should treat you badly, to be clear. It's just if I was one of these companies, I would probably not even be selling to retail gamers. It's hard for them to even make enough GPUs to keep up with all these AI companies to begin with. What are we donating to? Mr. Clinton's Halo and Reveal Fund. I mean, gamers are a demographic, but let's be real. All these AI companies around the world, if you have a limited number of GPUs to sell, I can sell them to an institutional buyer where there's going to be a plan and a procedure, and I'm probably not going to have to deal with RMAs, and it's just a batch, it's a wire transfer to this from this one person, or I can sell to a bunch of individual customers. It's a lot easier to sell to a small number of institutional customers than it is to sell to millions of retail customers. It's also easy to charge a lot of money for these because, I mean, of what they're being used for. You can only make so many. Now, if they had infinite capacity to produce, that's one thing. But I'm not saying it's right that they treat you like shit. Me personally, I'm surprised after 2 years of all this AI boom that they're even bothering to sell GPUs to retail customers. Have you ever considered tying in right to repair with the video game movement? When you buy games, you don't own them. Yes, right to own, right to own. Yeah, I've done a few videos on Ross Scott at Accursed Farms talking about what he's doing, and the Consumer Rights Wiki is supposed to go over all this stuff. So if you take a look, consumerrights.wiki, you can make an article on this. Let's see. Actually, let's see. Has anybody made an article on this? Ah, wrong window. Whoops. Wrong window. Let's see. If I need a bigger monitor for this shit. Using my laptop screen. 13 years on YouTube and I still stream with my laptop screen. The Crew. Here we go. Ubisoft. Games as a service. See? There's an article. You're amazing. I'm trying myself to learn how to set an image from your 7-hour open source tutorial. That's 14-hour tutorial. You're only watching one part of it. You got to have the entire 14-hour manual for it to make sense. But thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I did a giant tutorial here. People kept asking, how do I set up my server? How do I do everything? Well, what software do I use? So if you want to, here you go. Build your own router, dynamic DNS, OpenVPN, PF Blocker NG for ads, virtual machines, calendar, contacts, SOGO, self-managed email, home assistant to control your air conditioner, home surveillance cameras, replacing Google Drive, Google Photos with image, Google Docs with only Office, Sheets with only Office, replacing Google Keep with Notes, free PBX, Unitel SIP trunking if you want to be able to have your own self-hosted phone system, and it goes on forever. Thank you for your work on Right to Repair Front Lines. Your badass reminds me of one of my old lieutenants' badassness, and your bluntness is perfect. I sincerely doubt I'm 1/10 the man of a real Army lieutenant, but yes, thank you. Yeah, this is the guide. You want to know how to set it up? You want to know how to set it up? Here's how to set up the entire system I use for myself. Here you go. Hi, Paw, Mr. Clinton from Diana, Kitty, and Philip. Hello, Anne. Hope your writing is going well. It's been a while since I've done regular live streams. Been busy with a lot of stuff. Setting up a new nonprofit. Trying to bring back the concept of ownership. A lot of work to be done there. Thank you for the kind comment on GreyJ. I'm sure Kelvin and Kuhn, the developers, are very happy with that. I did get a haircut recently. Yes, I did. Thank you for noticing. That's very nice of you. Oh, wrong button. Have my pfSense network up running now. Thanks. I'm in the fully in the self-host / home lab rabbit hole. Very cool. Really appreciate your video on right to cancel. Our branch teams give people an additional free checking account that they can overdraw to make it easier to cancel gym memberships. That's awesome. One of the things that bothered me about that video were the amount of people saying, well, you could just cancel with your bank. Why don't you just cancel with your bank? And motherfucker, have you actually tried calling Chase and canceling something? Have you ever tried calling Discover customer service? They will not only tell you that, not only can you not cancel it even if you report the card as fucking fraud, because they carry the subscriptions from the old one to the new one, but if you file a chargeback, you'll lose. Oh, well, you're an idiot. You should have signed up with this credit. Like, I don't give a fuck. You fucking fuck. This shit drives me insane. So, like, instead of how about this? It's kind of like if my kid managed to fill his super soaker with skin eating acid, right? Thank you, God. My kid fills his super soaker with skin burning acid, and then he shoots me with it. And somebody's like, well, you should have just worn this shirt. If you had that shirt with this shielding, you want to like, no. It's not. It's not that I'm wearing the wrong brand of shirt. How the fuck did my kid get access to skin eating acid, right? Here, well, you should have chose the right bank if you. No. That company is scamming people. They're requiring. They decided to make it impossible for me to cancel. Focus on the fucking problem. I did I took a autism Asperger's quiz on this channel, and you guys saw my results. So you know what I'm saying. This no hatred towards Aspie people whatsoever. This is all an indictment of myself. Thank you. Yes, fuck DCS. Fuck DCS very hard. The problem with that autistic people have, including myself, is we like to solve problems. That's why I do things like stay up until 4 in the morning for several years trying to figure out border pair issues. That's why I have the business that I do. That's why a lot of you watch, because you enjoyed watching stuff where we're trying to solve difficult and complex problems. But the problem is the hyper-focusing on the wrong fucking problem. The wrong problem. Somebody was even going over, well, Lewis, look, I made a website to make it easier for people to send certified mail without going to the post office. Like, wrong problem. Not the problem you should be focusing on solving. No, they should not have the ability to fuck you in the ass for no good reason. If I tried to do that to my customers, they'd firebomb my store. Like, I can't do that, right? So I don't even mean to get aggravated at the individuals when they say that. I get mad at the concept of people not organizing, right? Because if you were able to organize properly, you would say, this person is screwing all of us, so rather than us going, well, you should use this bank. If you use this bank, you'd be fine. No, they're laughing at you. They're laughing at all of you as they fuck every single one of you. Because as long as you're arguing amongst each other, you're not focusing on the person that's actually fucking you. Drives me nuts. I speak from experience. Anytime I am criticizing you for going down an autistic rabbit hole, it's because I've gone down one that's 3 times as long and gotten trapped in it myself. Feline Overlord Appreciation Day I'm in. I don't know if Mr. Clinton deserves a day. A mouse messed up my car recently, and I do keep the door to the garage open, which means Mr. Clinton would have had the opportunity to get him. He bit up so many wires, the little prick. I am behind in chat by about 8 minutes. Thoughts on Nvidia and Gamers Nexus video? I don't watch a lot of Gamers Nexus video, not because I don't like him, it's just I don't game, I don't build PCs. So I watch his content when he's doing consumer protection kind of stuff or investigative journalism kind of stuff. I watch the whole tariff thing. When he's talking about regular GPUs, it's not that I don't like him or his coverage, it's just it's not an issue that that's particularly near and dear to me. Donating for Blueberry. I know she's the head of the operation. Yes, it's Blackberry, thank you very much. I joke and go blue cherry anytime she's annoying me, so I'll like pretend to pet a kitty that's not her, and then she gets jealous. What ThinkPad is that? This is a P1 Gen 7. What happened to the framework you had? The board died. I bought a Ryzen one, and then it randomly started graphics glitching. So I gave it to my assistant, and I got this. It randomly graphics glitches on her. I gaslight her and just tell her it must be something that she's seeing, because I don't see it. Are you aware of troll farms springing up? Would you recommend rugged laptops, toughbook likes as an alternative? I recommend you use the laptop that works for you. I have not used a toughbook in a really long time. I used what works for you. I mean, that's a personal preference thing. In regards to troll farms, I mean, YouTube has had bots issues for a long time. If you go to Forbes Breaking News, interesting channel because they actually do film the entire thing. You know, I wanted to listen to a Senate hearing, Mark Zuckerberg Senate hearing. They had a good quality version of it. Wanted to hear the Senate hearing on this immigration bill that got destroyed. This one guy from Oklahoma, I forget his name, Senator Jamie Langford, I think. He did a 1-hour speech on how there was this bill that like would solve everything that got sabotaged, and he was told that political commentators were telling him we're going to ruin your career because you don't want this problem fixed until after the election or some shit. You can listen to the entire Senate hearings, and they're really nice. Just never scroll into the comments. Never, ever, ever scroll into the comments because they're all fake. It's all bots. And you can tell because if it's a real person, they'll start trolling you back if you say something about them. But they don't because it's not real. I mean, this is just one channel. I don't watch a lot, but 99% of the time that I come to YouTube is to listen to PBS Frontline documentaries. Like I watched one on the power plant. I forget the name of it. It's in the tip. How do I forget shit like this? The power plant that screwed up in Japan in 2011. I watch a lot of PBS Frontline. That's 99% of what I come to YouTube for, like strange documentaries and stuff like that. If you're a parent and want your kids to understand right to repair, the movie Robots is the best way to go about it. I'll check it out. Thank you. Where do you buy white t-shirts? This is actually pink. That tells you how bad I am at lighting that you think this is white. What do you think about Trump threatening to tariff individual private companies? You can't really do that, man. You can... Like, that's the thing with laws that people don't get. So this is with like the argument against the TikTok banning bill. One of the arguments that I was making is that bill to ban TikTok was complete and utter garbage because it would have made so many other things illegal. I think it was called the Restrict Act. Thank you. I am glad I motivated you to get a divorce. If your marriage sucked, then yes, go for it. And I'm sure I wish you the best of luck in picking better next time. Remember, as bad as your partner is, you always got to remember, I chose this person. What the fuck is wrong with me for choosing that person? Every single time I have a relationship that ends, if it didn't go well, it's not their fault, it's mine. Because I fucking chose you. What was wrong? Like, what place was I in my life to choose that person? However, getting out means that, yeah, you know, you're accepting reality and doing something about it. So I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. I wish you the best of luck. I forget what I was just talking about. I'm probably going to miss some of these, and I'm going to need you to remind me the ones that I missed because there's no way to actually have a sentence and run on this treadmill at the same time. You think capitalism is part of the reason that we lack basics like ownership? I would say no. I think that when you look at other economic systems, they also had issues with ownership. I don't think it is capitalism. I think it is runaway. I think it is runaway corruption and greed, really. It's not greed, because everybody is greedy to some extent. I think it is when it runs away. I think it's also cultural rot. Cultural rot has a lot to do with it. Because there are certain things that even if they weren't illegal, you wouldn't do them because you realize that you would just be cast out in society. And right now, there's no real societal shaming for a lot of the practices that are going on, which is what I'm trying to do with this new website. I want to make it something... Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. The whole goal of this website is to log these issues in a manner where if you take part in one of these fucked up things, that there is some sort of societal shaming. And I think there needs to be a bring back of... You have to bring back societal shaming for doing shit like this. You should be ashamed of yourself if you are the reason that you need to certified mail a gym. Whoever is responsible for that practice, the people that raised their hand in a board meeting and wrote that, they shouldn't be able to do that. I don't mean even legally. I mean, legally, I think it's bullshit. But they should fear that I will be an outcast. I will never go on a date again. Nobody will ever like me. People won't give me their seat on the bus. Like, greenies for the kiddies. Thank you. What about them trying to control reviews? I don't know what them is. What is your take on crowdfunding? It exists. General questions get general answers. My 2025 target weight is Lewis on top of me. Bruh! Note to self, don't read all the comments. I just realized you're the Bill Burr of tech. I'll take that as a compliment. Halo's been watching for years. Thank you. You have a desktop computer. I do. I have one desktop at home from 2018. It's using a Core i9-7980XE that an intern who had insanely, ridiculously rich parents donated to me after he bought a processor 6 months later that was infinitely better. I remember Googling this, like, why the fuck are you giving this away? And then, yeah, he just smirks, and then Steve taps me on the shoulder and tells me what his parents do for a living, and it's, oh, you have a case of affluenza. He's a cool dude, though. Really cool. He's doing well for himself now. He was a really smart person. Part of NYC you from? Born in Brooklyn, raised in Staten Island, which is kind of a dump in and of itself. Literally, like there was one of the only things you could see from space in that area, I think, was the Staten Island dump. Moved back to Brooklyn, spent most of my time there, had my store in Manhattan. You prefer certain types of music, stuff that makes my foot tap that doesn't annoy my brain. Just about anything that makes my foot tap without it annoying my brain. You think European Union can affect right to or own digital goods in any way? Perhaps. Maybe. You have a desktop computer, yes. You like fish sticks. What the fuck? You think I'm gonna talk to my fish with fish breath? Are you insane? Kinda. It was my fault and I love you, bro. Never marry a feminist, bros, says Red Heifer. I think it's possible to marry a feminist that would not be horrible. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. I try to avoid cutting out large groups of people. I try to figure out why you have the beliefs that you do and what led you to them, rather than just judging you based on your beliefs. I want to see, because I want to see that there's a thought process, right? Because I remember talking to somebody who had very similar beliefs to me and almost everything. This is like 15 years ago when I was, this is 20 years ago, working at Modell Sporting Goods, a long time ago. And the reason that he had come to this belief is because his friends kind of brought it up and he's like, that's cool. But I had this entire like reasoning, and here's what I experienced in life, and here's what I read, and here's what I did, and here's how I came to this realization after comparing the outcomes from all these different people. Like, we're not the same. So even if there's somebody else who thought the exact opposite of me, thank you, Word. Even if there's somebody who thinks the exact opposite of me and everything, but they have a thought process that they went through, we can have so many discussions about that, and they can be so very, very interesting and cool. But if you think the same thing I do simply because like of you watch somebody on TV and you nodded, or like your parents thought this so you think it, then we don't have as much in common as you would think. Thank you for your work. You convinced me to get into home labbing and building my own server with NAS and Plex server. Never connect TV to the internet. Never connect TV to the internet. True. Can you speak a bit to right to ownership and perhaps online live service games? If the game shuts down, should they have to create an offline version for the consumer to own? Good question. The argument with the crew is that almost nobody played the single-player version of it, or that it would be no fun to play it that way. I've heard that argument before. Thank you. Been there myself. Be rebuilding from rock bottom. The person who's rebuilding from rock bottom has the word TRY as a currency. That can't be a coincidence. Keep trying, man. Trying 55 times doesn't work. Try 56. Well, when you so let's say I'm playing Yahoo Pool. Anybody remember Yahoo Pool? Let's say I had to pay to play Yahoo Pool, and they take the website down. Honestly, that's a good question. I wish I knew enough about games to give an incredibly directly definitive answer. I like to think things through. I mean, I know this probably sounds weird because I'm an idiot, and I kind of sound like an idiot on a lot of these, but I do like to have time to think things through before I just give immediate answers to things. Let that sound the where seas. Screw Netflix, Amazon, etc. By the way, still think you should have stayed in New York City and ran for off. No, thank you, man. Look at all the fucking hair I'm missing as is. You think I want the rest to go away? Fuck New York City with a rusty spoon. Fuck New York State too. Fuck their entire government. Would you do JRE to get the word on right to repair? I would. That's a really old question. I mean, I reached out to him, I think, in like 2020, 2021. Once in 2022, I got a message back from, I think, the producer saying, oh, yeah, he knows who you are, and I never heard back since. So I'm not going to spam people. I mean, I talk to just about anybody on right to repair. I've talked to Sam Cedar, Tim Pool, New York Times, American Conservative, National Review. Like, I'll do it all, really. I'll discuss these issues with anybody who'll listen, honestly. Because no matter what somebody's political views, dating views, anything else is, there's something resting in there that doesn't like when somebody tells them they're not allowed to do what they want, what they bought and paid for. That person's in just about everybody, and I'll speak to that person and everybody. Thank you for all that you do. You make me laugh and taught me a lot. Opt out of everything. Never change. Thank you. I hope I do change with time. I hope I'm slightly wiser now than I was at 26. Never know. What's your thoughts on open source projects you can build yourself? They exist. General questions, get general answers. Thank you for everything you do for Right to Repair. Thank you. What do you think of psychopaths that like crunchy peanut butter? Crunchy is the only worthwhile peanut butter. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get out of my chat. I should ban you for that. When you're talking about live service games, I think it would have to be something where it is directly a subscription. You are subscribing to this game as long as it is on. It cannot be something where I go to Electronics Boutique and I spend $50 in the game, and then I have to connect to the internet to use it. If there's a game, if I go to Electronics Boutique and I buy Crash Team Racing for $50, and I take it home and I can play that game, and then when you turn your server off, it doesn't work, fuck that. No, you got to give me an offline version. That's a you problem if you didn't give me an off. That's a you problem if you got to fix that or pass that shit. If you have a game that costs $10 a month, and I have to log into yourgame.com to use it, or like thisgame.yourplatform.com, and it's a subscription to be able to access your website, that's different. Now, obviously, I prefer to live in a world where you buy the game and you have it, rather than this, but I realize that that's going away very quickly, and I hate it, but it is what it is. Companies moving to everything as a subscription is a death of society. Capitalism unchecked is going to devour us all. I hope you're successful in bringing awareness, and I wish more companies had your mindset. Thank you. One of my best friends grew up in the 80s in a Soviet bloc country, and like she has a lot of freaking stories to tell me, and you don't need to be a capitalist system to take away ownership. There are many ways to take away ownership. What I'm really digging for is not the economic system. I want there to be a serious fucking cultural shaming. Regardless of whether it's legal or not, like, who cares if it's illegal? You know, it's legal for you to cheat on your wife and make fun of her as you do it in front of your children, right? Like, you can do that. It's legal. It's just, would you do that? What would you expect to happen in your community if you did that? Like, would you do, I answered the JRE question. Yes, I would. I don't think there's interest in me being on that show, but yes, again, I'll talk to just about anybody about this. As I said, there's a person that wants to not get fucked over inside of every American. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, pro-gun, anti-gun, like pro-COVID lockdown, anti-COVID, like I don't give it, whatever your stance is on all this shit, when you buy something, you want to own it. When you sign up for a gym membership, you want the ability to cancel without sending certified mail. When you buy a camera and you want to use your new lens, you do not want to have to buy a lens from the manufacturer of that camera, or it doesn't work. This is a universal issue. I'll speak, I don't care what your views are and everything else, I'll speak to the part of you that will give a shit about this. And I'll find a way to get you to care. Thank you, Pedro Cas. Chat only works in the ad-infested YouTube. You hold live AMA events and other ad-free platforms. It won't monetize your audience without consent. The only way for you to get for this to monetize is if you did not install uBlock Origin. And if you're watching my channel and you have not installed uBlock Origin, get off my channel. Like I fucking tried, bro. I took 3 months off of my life. Like literally 3 fucking months I spent in my house filming a video on how to get rid of ads in every part of your life. Like all of it. All of it. All of it. All of it. And none of you listen. If you see ads at this point in time, you fucking deserve it. I'm sorry. I tried. I fucking tried. I can't force you. I cannot force you to not waste your time on ads. I tried. You didn't listen to me. Thoughts on Joe? I listened to Joe Rogan between 2016 to I think February of 2020. Around early 2020, when I was moving to the new store, combined with the stress of like the COVID, do I get to stay in business? Oh, I get to stay in business. Do I get to keep my business or does it get destroyed by whatever the fuck? I kind of left YouTube and yeah, I left a lot of the things I found as hobbies. So I haven't listened to Joe Rogan really since 2019. I enjoyed his show from 2016 to 2019. I have not watched it after. There are a lot of people that don't like him now. I don't know why, because I haven't really paid attention to it, because I haven't kept up with it. I really have not. Again, like when I go to YouTube at this point in time, I'll be honest, I'm watching a Frontline documentary. Like I'm either watching a Senate hearing or I'm watching a Frontline documentary. I'm boring in that regard. Are you still learning C? I was, but then I got all this other new shit to do and I wasn't. Was Joe Rogan promoting horse tranquilizers as a COVID cure? As I said, I checked out in like 2019. I have no fucking clue. I have not followed any of that shit. I have not seen Jordan Peterson post benzos. I have not. There's a bunch of stuff that I just haven't. Like, I feel like it's good for my head that I just kind of. I watch my. I watch my 2002 Frontline documentary on the credit card industry fucking people with adjustable interest rates. I go back to work. I watch my Frontline documentary on a nuclear power plant exploding. I go back. I'm in a very small corner of YouTube. Advice for 23-year-old high school dropout was in tech sales. Be okay with spending 2 or 3 years trying new shit, not having a fucking clue what it is you're going to be doing with your life until you figure out what it is you want to do with your life. A lot of people are afraid to just try random things and walk around without direction, but that's what you have to do to try different things to figure out where you fit in the world. Now, the arm is temperamental, will literally trigger if you sneeze, 3 triggers, license auto revoked. What I'm really interested regarding BWE software and malware, because a lot of journalists have been contacting me. Like 60 Minutes Australia contacted me over this. It's just, there's some other news station too. People who, if you reported BWE to the authorities in Australia as somebody who was screwed over by him as a purchaser of his software and you never heard back, email me, youtube@rossmanngroup.com. If Maria's listening to this, she will go through all those emails and parse them because they do want to hear from you. Not 60 Minutes, the other one. I forget the other one, but they want to hear from people that had an issue with him. So you bought his software and your license was revoked. You complained to the Australian authorities. You didn't hear back. If those three things are true and you're willing to speak to a journalist about it, email youtube@rossmanngroup.com so we can pass your contact info along. Love the new casting couch setup. Thank you, Sonny. How's it going? I haven't caught up with you recently. I gotta take some time to catch up with Sonny. Oh, there was a really cool Joe Rogan conversation that I enjoyed a few years ago. It was with Sir Roger Penrose. I'll be honest, I understood 0.5% of that fucking conversation. Like 0.5% if even, but it was, I stayed engaged the entire time. Let me see if I can find that. Roger Penrose. What was this one? Here we go. Mathematical physics. I literally got none of this. Less than none of this. It was one of the few things where I could listen to somebody for an hour that I fucking couldn't understand the word of, and I still found it interesting. Yeah, Sir Roger Penrose is an English mathematical physicist, mathematician, and a philosopher of science. Yeah, that was a cool one. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I have no fucking clue what his stuff is on now, honestly. The Larry Sharpe one was frustrating because Larry Sharpe was trying to answer the questions, and Joe would say, okay, but how do the teachers get paid? And he would say, well, we're cutting our budget because we're going to be missing out on like $2 billion of federal funds, but we're cutting $3 billion of red tape, which means there's a net $1 billion extra for the teachers. And then we're also taking Cuomo's name off of all these bridges and then selling the rights to that to all these different companies, which is going to bring in another several hundred million. So we're actually going to have like $1.4 billion extra. But you're cutting funding for, but the net is high. It was an hour and a half, and I kind of so for me, Joe Rogan has been hit or miss. But again, that's with almost anything you listen to, it's going to be hit or miss. So there are times where I've listened to that show where I've shaken my fist and like gotten angry at my screen, and then there are times where I listen and I find it cool. But you know, it is what it is. With just about any show, really. I don't know. I have, again, at this point in my life, I have so much shit to do. I listen to PBS Frontline documentaries while I'm driving home, and occasional Senate hearing. No, Dogra, my relationships have I think like a 3 to 45 day timer on them before. That one's long ago. You have any survival tips for the current job crisis? Not really. I mean, I was never really able to get a real job. Every year, I craft a real, actual resume. I pay a resume coach to craft it. And then I apply to a bunch of different stuff. And I write a real cover letter, not this bullshit ChatGPT cover letter. Like, I write something based on how I actually believe all of my experience is directly relevant to the company. And I apply to a bunch of shit. I have no idea what that means. I appreciate your $2 and God bless you for donating it, but I have no clue what that means. I'm sorry. And I apply to a bunch of shit. And the reason I do that is not even to get the job, because I would take the job if I got it, to be clear. You know, a deal's a deal. But just to remind myself why I need to stay on my shit with everything I'm doing in life, because if I don't, I realize the world out there, like, I'm living on the street. I've gotten declined from all different types of shit. I remember there was this one nonprofit, their 990 showed, it was an educational nonprofit, and they showed that they were bringing in less than 20,000 a year or something like that. So I said, you know, started one educational nonprofit, raised 1 million from the co-founder of WhatsApp, didn't want to fund the second one, fundraised for the second one, raised $900,000 in 3 weeks, got these laws passed with it, had these hundreds of pages of educational material written. I got a fucking autoresponder email saying that I didn't meet the educational requirements. And then I got a call back a week later. This is funny. Asking about it was the same place, and I said, "Oh yeah, I already got the email. It said I wasn't qualified." It's like, you know, we can talk about that because I didn't have a college degree. Ad block, yes. Fuck ads. Block as many ads as possible. And I hear back, and yeah, I said, well, it said that I didn't have a college diploma. I do watch GN. I didn't say I don't watch it. I just don't watch videos on computer hardware. I watch videos on consumer protection. He's going into how Newegg are racist for fucking people. I'll watch that. He's reviewing graphics cards and thermal paste. I'm gonna fall asleep watching that shit. No offense to Gamers Nexus. I don't find that interesting. I despise building computers. I don't like it. With reassembling computer. This may surprise you, but after 16 years of doing computer-based repair for a living, I do not want to assemble a computer. I find it miserable. It's not fun. I like fixing boards. When I fix the board and I figure out the problem with the board, that is awesome. Reassembling the computer, fuck that. Like, I hired somebody to help me with reassembling machines back in 2014 because I don't want to do it anymore. I fix the board, I get my fan spin, it goes down the line. I'm like, no, I didn't listen to that. Where was I? Oh yeah, the nonprofit. Yeah, no jerky boys. So after they called back, I said, okay, well, you know, who sent this email? Well, that was the system. Well, who set up the email? The system. Well, HR did it. And like, do you hire those people? Yes. I don't work for bigots. Fuck you. I got declined for a fucking customer service job at Framework. There's like 50. This was something that paid, I think, like 60% what I pay my own reception. It was fine. Anyway, I have been, like, I can't give you advice on how to get a job because I have no fucking clue how to get a job. I've made jobs. I know how to make a job. I've made a job many times. I have no idea how to fucking get one. I do that once a year. I apply to all different types of shit. Put in my honest best effort. Just to remind myself, I gotta stay on my shit. Because if I don't stay on my shit, I'm done. I can't tell you how to get a job. Like, I'm not gonna say, I've never in my life written Louis Rossmann, founder. What the fuck did you find, bro? What are you, Christopher Columbus? Granted, he didn't find shit either, but Amerigo Vespucci? No, you're not. You had some random idea. You managed to trick somebody else into giving you money for it. Like, in my case, I started this company with my own money, but I didn't start a business because I'm a founder. I'm a dude who couldn't get a job. So I started putting up pull tab signs and posting ads on Craigslist and Backpage before Backpage was used primarily for sex work. And I sat in the park fixing stuff. Like, I started a business because I couldn't get a job. Because the thing that's cool about starting a business is there's no middleman of a company or a boss. If I can offer something that people want, then I can just sell directly to them, and I don't have to give a shit about showing my resume to somebody and like dressing properly for the interview and figuring out how to say something witty that's different than what the other 99 people said in the interview and getting past the AI that figures out if you don't have a diploma and filters you out. I don't know how to do that shit. For the crew, the fact that I'm locked out of getting the platinum is a personal issue, but that could have been easily fixed with an SP. You know, listen, if these are issues that are not covered properly, I highly suggest that you head over to consumerrights.wiki and you cover it. Yeah, where's like the cruise shutdown. If you think that's missing from this, make this article better. I'm doing my best to make this the primary resource for people who want to learn about all these ownership issues. And I am one man. I cannot write all these articles. I'm electronic reseller on CompTIA with on eBay with a CompTIA, wanting to move more into repair. Any advice? You want my advice? Are you ready? Find something else to do. Everything that Andy from Salem Techsperts has said in the repair business in general is something that I would vibe with. Even my company, I am not doing general electronics repair. I mean, I'm not doing general computer or phone repair. I'm doing your SSD is dead and the controller is dead and you need the data. Your micro SD card is cracked and you need the information off of it. Your hard drive is clicking, that kind of stuff. I used to buy despite some opinions and subject online, I always appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully, even if you despise some of the things that I say, you can. All I ask is ask the why, because usually, even if you disagree with me on what I'm doing or what I think, the why behind it, we may actually have a lot of agreement. We may disagree on how to get someplace, but we want to get to the same place, for lack of a better way to put it. What was I just saying? Crap, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I'll get it back later. There's way too many comments and way too fast. You want to know more about Fulu? Okay. Yeah, sure. We should start with the acronym. What does that mean? Yeah, I think we'll start with the acronym. It says, discovered Brave Browser, 98% of the ads have effed off. Brave Browser with Shields is a great way to go. Firefox with uBlock Origin is another great way to go. Brave Browser with Shields, uBlock Origin, I'm good with it. Make sure you avoid the ad blockers that allow the company producing the ad blocker to whitelist ads that come from the companies that pay them. So there are certain ad blockers, I forget the name of it, somebody in chat's going to know. Somebody took the name of a really popular good ad blocker. They got access to the name of the company, and then they created an ad blocker that will block ads, but it will whitelist ads from companies that pay them. And you want to avoid that shit. Lots of IP laws and patent laws that are protected by regular corporate government. It's been a really long time since I read Stephen Kinsella's book on intellectual property. It's about 25-year-old book. It was an interesting book, I'll be honest with you. It's been a really long time since I read it, so I'm not going to be able to give you a lot of opinions or insights on it, but I do think that there are a lot of these barriers to people being able to create new stuff that are not stacked against your average maker, stacked against the Steve Wozniak of modern day. But I can't discuss it more intelligently. So Fulu, F-U-L-U, that is a nonprofit that is going to be going after one of the largest crappy laws in the United States with regards to right to own. So there are laws that on the books that make it illegal to circumvent digital locks and what you bought and paid for. I think that this is disgusting, and I think that this really does go into the overarching issue that I talk about on this channel for 15 years, which is when you buy something, you don't actually own it. So I would like to work on that. Like the person that shows you, here's how to back up a 4K DVD, a 4K Blu-ray, like you should, if somebody shows you how to do that, that person should not go to prison. If you have a $400 baby monitor that used to allow you to be able to use all its functionality, and now you have to pay them a monthly fee to get access to what you already bought and paid for because somebody bought that company and remotely locked it, you should be able to unlock that. And if somebody shows you how to unlock it and they make a commercially available solution to unlock it, that person should not be vulnerable to going to prison because they've reverse engineered something. I don't like the idea of laws that make math illegal. Thoughts on hardened browsers like LibreWolf. Is LibreWolf a genuinely, like, did they really mess with the source code, or is this just Firefox with a bunch of options tweaked? That's not a critique, bit away. I don't remember what we were even talking about, I'm sorry. I'm trying to answer so many different things at once. I'm falling off the treadmill. Advanced Manager for Android. Modifies YouTube APK, so no ads. There's GrayJ. You also got GrayJ. I don't work at Fudo anymore, so I'm not. There can be no conflict of interest here as a result of me getting paid for this. I know the developers in person. They're very cool people. Do check it out. Again, if I had to choose, like if you don't want to use the YouTube app, I get it. But I would not want to use a closed source app that random ass people cracked over using an open source app that is, yeah, like if I had to choose, I would choose the GrayJ app. I would go with this, if that's your thing. Like for me, I would either probably be the type of normie that uses YouTube Premium or the type of open source schizo that says I want to use GrayJ. But I wouldn't, I don't know. Thoughts on Zen browser. I've never tried it and never heard of it. I'm sorry. Correct, Brass Ghost. I left to work on a bunch of other projects in February. My goal with working there, what I wanted to do was get get people to know who they were. B, try and get a community of programmers and engineers started there that were going to work on all the stuff that Aaron wanted to work on. That's like my job. My storyline there came to a complete. I mean, they have a great team for GrayJ. They got everybody working on image. They have people working on a social media thing, an app store, the voice-to-text keyboard. That's like Themida Enigma Power Pi Armor. Bro, you're breaking my brain right now, man. Have you seen VO3 AI? Thoughts? Yes, and that shit is freaky. So to be clear, I only saw it from a distance on Patrick's Android phone downstairs. The idea is it will create videos using AI that look real. And you have to pay for credits. So he was showing me other people doing it. And then he typed in there, like this is the lovely fucking employees I have. He types into the screen, make a video of Louis Rossmann in a compromising position with P. Diddy. And I'm like, you I honestly want to pay to see it now. I think it's $250 a month, but what made you quit veganism? I was 190 pounds, and to be at the same strength that I'm at right now, at like 158 to 163, it's not that I couldn't get enough protein. It was that to get the protein I needed, I was eating so many carbs that I became a balloon. If you look at the videos that I was doing in late 2019, my face was round. I mean, to be clear, I definitely could have done better if I had went to a proper nutritionist and was really focusing on having my diet curated properly. I'm sure I could have, but I didn't have the time for it, and I didn't put in the effort for it, and I admit that. Where do you get your games from? I don't game. Life is my video game at this point. I'm up to 3 nonprofits now, 2 businesses. Like, life is my video game, man. Daily reminder that autism has no cure. You don't need a cure for autism, man. Autism is my superpower. I bought a motorcycle because your New York City bike ride streams. You had an influence on me. Thank you. You know, I'm fixing up my bike. I haven't made time for that in a while because I have no time for it. That's another video game of mine. It's going to be fixing up that old bike. Getting a different controller for it. Why? You never heard of Zen? Oh my. Yeah, no, I haven't. I have too much shit to do, bro. Bro, I have too much stuff to do. I have too much time to know every fucking thing that happens in the world. Yeah. There's times I wish I'd chosen the blue pill and skip your channel. Your very expensive relationship. Yes, everything is more difficult. I tell that to my employees anytime they're like, why does this not work? Or why is this thing, why is the interface in this not as nice? It's like, that's the cost of freedom, baby. That's the cost of freedom. Yeah, feel that Linux. Feel that open source. Using Nextcloud Notes versus using Notion. When you're taking an extra 10 minutes to do anything, that is the cost of freedom, baby. And it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth it. That's what I tell myself. It probably isn't. But it is. It is to be. Ideologically, it is. I don't own it. You also don't own my money. I like how F1 Labs thinks here. I approve of that. Please look into Windows 365 link. Lockdown hardware. I haven't used Windows in so many years, man. You know what's weird? I remember back in 2004, I would have to use NDIS wrapper to get Wi-Fi to work in Linux when I booted. And now, 20 years later, if I reinstall Windows in certain laptops, you have to install drivers. But if you were to take Debian or Ubuntu, or Fedora Workstation has been the best one for me, in my opinion. Because with Ubuntu, there are still laptops you can install Ubuntu on, and right out of the box, you close the thing and it doesn't fucking suspend. I'm 90% certain that's how my framework died. Because there are times where I've closed a lid. I think most crypto is a consensual Ponzi scheme, but you do you. Yeah, and Bitcoin included. Consensual Ponzi scheme. Go for it. Money, as fake as shit as it is, and how people can just print it, it's kind of based on the productivity of the country. It's based on the productive output of the country. A stock is based on the productive output of a company. Bitcoin is based on people thinking it'll go up, which, like, again, there is value to that. It's just, that's why I say consensual Ponzi scheme. Yeah, the VOAI shit. I think we're probably 5 years away from the concept of evidence just being a meme. Or at least video and audio evidence. It's going to be, because in the 1800s, there wasn't really the idea of photographic evidence of a crime, video of a crime, security footage from a camera, anything like that. And once you can fabricate everything, and it's so good. And I also, thank you. Thank you very much, Blason. Once we're at a point where you can fabricate any evidence, it's going to be very interesting. I know with printers, every printer has something in it so that they all print uniquely. So if we print the same document, there's going to be something different on my paper than yours that you could see at some sort of microscopic level. And I think there's going to be probably going to be something like that with AI, so that you could tell that it's an AI-generated video. But I also think at some point the open source models are so far behind. I mean, if you use something like Jan on Linux and you download all these different models and you compare that to the output you get from Claude or ChatGPT, I'm an open source man myself. I really am. But like, a lot of the open source models are kind of like Bonzi Buddy if it drank lead paint versus Einstein. But at some point, the open source models are not going to be like Bonzi Buddy with lead paint anymore. And when you get to that point, and you can just tell it, make this, but without any of that fingerprinting shit, the concept of rule of law is going to be fucked. When I read about that stuff, I really do wish I was 80 or 90 years old, because it's going to be a very interesting ride for the next 40 years. I found your channel through the Honey Drum. I'm glad I did. Thank you for your work on Right to Repair and Right to Own. You're a true hero. I am not a hero. You should not idolize me. You don't idolize me. Please don't. I am an average person who speaks out on what he believes in, who lacks impulse control, and that's not always a good thing. To have an X account, I do not. I deleted my Twitter before it was cool, back in 2019. Yeah, I have a tendency for, so what I just said there about lacking impulse control. Like, again, when you look at like 2016 Jordan Peterson on Twitter, and then like 3 to 6 years later on Twitter, I don't want to be driven crazy by a platform. And I don't want the platform to drive me crazy. I don't want, it's just, Twitter does encourage this type of negative impulsivity that I don't want to fuck with. Even this, I mean, I have an Instagram now and a TikTok now, but like, I mean, I don't have it on my phone. I'm not using that shit on my phone regularly. Like, I make my video, I go to PR person who's helping me with this whole right to own movement thing. I say, here video, make video go up to site. Oh, they have to be vertical on this side? She calls me a boomer. And then I say, oh, okay, yes, it is. Oh, okay, I'll switch it around that way. But I can't read through all that stuff, or I'll wind up in another country high on benzos and losing it from like social media for me. I am the most healthy when I don't read comments. How do you get over feeling bad for taking large payments for a service? You remind yourself that there's a difference between charging money for, like, how about this? There's a difference between charging a lot for a service and screwing people. Did you do the service that you advertised? Does the customer know how you did it? If the customer had the full information, would they have still paid you? Right? So with DriveSavers does data recovery. Oh man, you got to see the new front page of my site. Man, I'm fucking going after these people. We diving into the stupid scams here. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so look at this. Isn't this nice? That's Chris. Chris looking all like. I will pet Mr. Clinton for you. Yeah. The biggest myth on what makes data recovery expensive. Yes. Maverick did Sherlock in Discord. He did a really good job with this poster. Purpose of life and why am I scared of relationships? I think you are, I don't know. I don't know you very well, and you provide me with very little info. Maybe you're scared of rejection. Maybe you're scared of commitment. You're probably scared of rejection, most likely. Everybody's scared of rejection. When you ask somebody out and they say no, if you're going down to the base level, like the base, like the id, it probably feels to you like what they're actually saying is, you know, your DNA could be passed on to the next generation. But, you know, I don't think that should happen, actually. You know, there's been probably 10 or 30 million years of evolution and people surviving through all different types of shit for you to get to this point. But I actually think that your lineage should die with you. Like that's what that's at its core. That's probably why it feels as bad as it does when you get that left swipe on Tinder. Nobody wants that. I don't really care. Yeah, any updates in the fully open source wheelchair project? Check them out, themif.org. I don't have updates. I'm not their organization. However, you can check them out here, and you can contact them, and you can see what they're doing. The Mobility Independence Foundation, the MIF. People dislike you because you're abrasive, not wrong. Eh. Yeah, but if I wasn't abrasive, nobody would give a shit. That's the thing. Like, people have said, you know, I would listen to all these issues, and I care about right to repair. If only it wasn't Lewis talking about it. Okay, do you listen to Nathan Proctor? Like, right, like, this guy's a genius. He's much smarter than I am. He's much nicer than I am. He's a good dude. Like, this is, you know what happens when people are nice? Let me show you what happens when people that are not abrasive talk about these issues. I'm going to show you. This guy is very smart. He's very kind, humble, very knowledgeable, way smarter than I am. And when he talks about right to repair without being abrasive, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. I love Nathan. He's a good dude. He's an amazing person. He's helped me in a lot of ways. This is what happens. This is why I don't like tone policing. This is why tone policing can go fuck itself with a rusty spoon. Because all those people that say I hate right to repair because of what Lewis said, I link you to this guy. You're just not going to listen to it. I know that because I've gone over this on Reddit with people so many times who are just trolling about this, and it's like, what do you think of this person? Crickets. Long time listener, first time super chatter. Any thoughts on eBay's forced arbitration requirement? I mean, eBay's been fucking people for a very, very long time. Actually, I'm actually suing somebody. That I'm very close to. I filed a chargeback, but I also filed suit in Orange County, California. I actually sent the check in the mail along with all the paperwork to sue this person. I haven't heard back, so thank you. If I have to remind me to call the county clerk's office in Orange County to ask them what the hell they did with my thing, I will. Thank you. Please look into Windows 365. Email youtube at rossmanngroup.com. youtube at rossmanngroup.com so I don't forget. And also, if you can make an article on consumerrights.wiki, highly appreciated. But make the article and then send me some info after you make the article. What was I just talking about? Oh, yeah, suing somebody. Anyway, so eBay and forced arbitration. eBay has been fucking people, sellers and buyers for a very long time. Very long time. Like, eBay's been fucking people for so long that I've been talking about it since I had hair. I mean, yes. Look at this. Very bad haircut. Don't get it twisted. That was a shit haircut. It's like, now I have a good haircut, shit hair. Back then, good hair, shit haircut. I think the VO3 AI, I think it's dangerously close to being the end of evidence, of video and audio evidence mattering. If I could just make it up, then what? The thing is, maybe not as soon as I think. So all that stuff, I'm guessing that there's something within those AI models that's similar to my printer where it includes something in the printed paper that allows it to be tracked down to that paper. I imagine that there's something in there so that I can't just make video footage of you killing somebody and then have that used to convict you of murder and put you in prison for life. I think the open source models are probably maybe 5 or... I'm going to be very conservative with it. Maybe 5 or 10 years behind the closed source ones. And the open source ones, at some point, you're probably going to be able to get rid of any sort of fingerprinting. Once that happens, the idea of evidence is just a meme at that point. I bet you're on Mount Rushmore of best YouTubers of all time. I highly doubt that, but thank you. Thank you for fighting for consumer rights. I'm actually 3D print you a pirate ship for your fishies once I find a model. Yeah, if you have a pirate ship for the fish and you send it to store, not store, that's a website. You send it to the store, 2410 San Antonio Street, Austin, Texas, 78705. Store address is on the website. I'll put the one that I'll put one in my pond. It has to have like a little Clinton flag on it. Actually, I already have those. I have the microfiber cloths for cleaning stuff. I have the cleaning kit on start@rossmanngroup.com. So I'll take one of those and I'll put it on the pirate ship. Imagine in the next 50 years, an AGI will hold an authority role in governance. Accountability of the man. I don't know. We'll see. Optimistic of you to assume we'll be here in 50 years. Yeah, so one of the things that's going to help with this nonprofit in the beginning, and the way you can all help me with that, I'm not asking for you to donate money. Don't need any money donated here. Not asking for that. But definitely your time. Something even more valuable. Help me make articles on all these companies' bullshit. Help. Help. I have not tried any Ubiquiti gear. I tried a TP-Link EAP610 and it's absolute fucking garbage. It's literally worse than the Wi-Fi that I have on a $50 TP-Link router. It's the TP-Link EAP610. It's so bad. It's so bad. I have one of those access points. I was using it for writing the manual. I couldn't get the one that I wanted, which is one of the larger ones, which has worked better. I got the smaller one. It was shit. But I haven't tried any Ubiquiti yet. Anyway, what was I going? Yeah, the way you can help with this nonprofit, and a lot of what I'm going to be doing with Fulu into the future, is you can help me with this other project here, like all these different anti-consumer practices. Like, let's just click. Let's get a random page here. Sony attempted removal of purchase content. See this? Archives everything, so they can't hide. All of it, right there. They can't hide. You just get the link. Bam. Want to buy a Clinton mousepad support, but shipping to the Netherlands is too expensive. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. Shipping shit overseas sucks. See, you can't hide. It's all right there. Random page. What do we got? Anybody else? See, some of these things need help. So what you could do over here, and this is where it would help because I'm actually getting paid staff for this at some point. Keith is managing the rules and everything for this, and he's done a really good job of creating a mission statement, mission and purpose and everything, and crafting, all the editorial guidelines that allow this to be something other than just Lewis making a journal of what he shooting off from the hip. And he's really helped make it legitimate. Thank you, Lyndon Pug. What you could do is when you see an article that has one of these notices on it, you could go to the Discord chat, or you could email him, Keith@consumerrights.wiki. That's Keith@consumerrights.wiki, and you could say, "Why is this article a stub? What needs to be done to make it better?" And then you can do the work to make the article better. We got a list here of articles that are in need of work, and we have a top contributors list. You can get on the top contributors list if you post stuff regularly. What you get if you're on the top contributors list is you get a nice warm and fuzzy feeling. Even Brave. I mean, I talked about things that I liked about Brave browser, right? But this is not my website. This is a community-driven website. It's supposed to be in a neutral voice. So I can say I like something, and then simultaneously, you could see over here all the fucked up shit that company or that program or that executive may have done, and it's got to be done in a neutral tone of voice. You have to have all of the citations for everything. It can't just be managed based on what I personally think should be here. Yes, let's see. Upper Echelon is a great YouTube channel that covers interesting topics involving AI or the deepfake inflection point I recommend watching. I'll check it out. I haven't heard of him, but I will check it out. Oh, Adobe. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit on this one. Let's see. What's one that I remember? It has an Amazon. Oh. Not scared of rejection, scared of commitment, and letting somebody down. My first and only girlfriend in high school, I ended up just ignoring and feeling shit at the same time. Okay, why were you ignoring her? Find somebody that you don't feel like ignoring. Here you go. This is an action camera that requires that you connect to their server in order to use it after you buy it. So if they shut down that server, no action cam for you, right? I think this is anti-ownership, and this has citations and everything. However, it requires additional expansion. Make it better. You can post to this website without having any sort of, you don't have to make an account to post on this website. Yeah, this site a lot of these pages need to be made better. Okay, what's an example? My favorite, Arity, yeah, the company. This is a funny one. Love your educational videos and passionate long-form content, but especially life advice woven throughout ending. Your voice helps. Thank you. Yes, most of the advice comes from something stupid that I had done myself. Yeah, this is my favorite. The one with this guy's on a roller coaster, and his insurance company thought it was dangerous driving. This fucks me up every time I see it. My insurance company mistakenly believed I was driving my car when in reality I was riding the roller coaster The Beast at Kings Island. Oh, you can't make this shit up. Yeah, like this. It goes over how these apps are spying on you and reporting it to insurance companies, but it's all factually based. I want to make a database of all this shit. Need your help to do it. I don't know what to say. It took so long thinking of something. Sorry about that. Yeah, like if you are somebody that doesn't like getting screwed over by large companies, if you don't, I have with this. I'm gonna make a sales pitch. Do you not have a life? Are you without relationships, a job, or any purpose for living? Do you not like when large companies screw you? Do you have too much time in your hands? Go fix every article at consumerrights.wiki. That's it. Every single article that you edit and make better is contributing towards a resource that is going to be used to fight against all these companies' bullshit practices. These articles are not just going to be for me to read in YouTube videos. These articles are going to form the basis of journalists that talk about these issues that we reach out to on a regular basis and say, you're not going to have to do all this research on your own anymore because we're going to help you do that research so that you can write these articles. Because a lot of journalists they have to write things in a short period of time. So we're going to give them the tools that they need to be able to write accurate articles on these issues. This is going to be used to inform legislative aides of senators and congresspeople when they're talking about laws for consumer protection. And at some point, this is going to be used when we talk about revoking a law that makes it illegal to do reverse engineering and math so that you can get access to break the digital locks on what you bought and paid for, so you could use it the way it was supposed to be used. Like, if you have nothing better to do with your life, and something tells me that if you're watching this stream at fucking 5 o'clock on a Friday, you love you guys, but you probably don't, you can contribute a little bit to this. How much of money in Super Chat does YouTube take in their cut? I honestly have no idea, because I don't know what 5 chafes is. I would not want to have 5 chafes. I mean, the money probably, but 5 chafes is... 5 chafes sounds like something I would have if I went back to toilet paper and stopped using a bidet. Okay, I have not been reading the normal chat because I fell so far behind in the treadmill on this, so let's see. YouTube doesn't let me go too far behind in this, so it looks like normal chat I have from 522 to the present, so I will read it. How do you edit video on Linux? I use DaVinci Resolve Studio, which I'll be honest with you is better than most Windows video editors on Linux. I know, the fact that anything on Linux is actually better than the closed source solution, trust me, as as somebody who loves Linux since 2002, yes, I'm surprised. It really does work very well. I paid for the $300 for DaVinci Resolve Studio. They have a free version, but the paid version is worth it because all the work they did. You try and get on Timcast Culture War to sign issue shows. You could talk about right to own. I went on Tim Pool in 2022, and I think I was able to get probably 2 minutes in on Right to Repair and like 3 hours of just random other stuff that I'm not very interested in. I don't know. Well, listen, as I said, I'll talk to anybody about this issue, as long as I'm able to actually talk about the issue. Planned upgrades for your koi pond. I go out 2 more oxygenators for it. So I've got 3 80-liter per minute pumps running, one in the middle, one on the left, one on the right, because I know it's going to be algae season soon. I'm getting 1 more UV light hooked up on the side. I bought one from Evolution Aqua. It was such shit. This thing literally didn't even have PVC glue on it. Instead of buying the $50 one on Amazon, I bought the $700 made in America shit. It didn't even have fucking PVC glue on it. This thing was such a piece of shit. And then the fucking company, this is going to probably become its own video at some point. Thank you, Eli. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. They said I was using the wrong pump because it was too much pressure. So I looked up their page, and it says 6,000 gallons per hour. The pump I was using was an Engine Monsoon 8000, which does about like 5,500 to 6,000 gallons per hour at 10 feet of head pressure. And the filter that I was using that they sell also, it requires 10 feet of head. It says it needs 6,000. Yeah, the filter that they were recommending was 7,000 gallons per hour at 10 feet of head pressure. So technically they're right. I was using the wrong pump, but it was underpowered, not overpowered. But they didn't even read the graph before telling me that I damaged their product by using a pump that was underpowered for the filter that was on their own fucking website. Oh my God. Don't get me started with that shit. Like, fuck Evolution. I'm going to be getting a real UV light. So I have 1 UV light on one side, the other UV light for the other filter that I thought would work, but leaks because they didn't even PVC glue it, bro. I missed the message on the screen, didn't I? Fuck my life. It's impossible to keep up with this. I need to be able to talk faster. Are data removal services like Canary worth the cost? Would we be paying too much for sysadmin tasks to keep my personal data out of thieves? In my opinion, so firstly, if a YouTuber has sponsored the product that you are looking to purchase or pay for, this should immediately increase your skepticism by about 30%. Secondly, when you're looking at these data removal services, if they say $50 a year or $100 a year to remove your data, how is it that cheap to do all this work? Well, the reason it's going to be that cheap is they're going to outsource it to another country. So now you have some, again, no offense against people working in other countries, but you have somebody that's probably getting paid $1 an hour or $1 a day. You're going to give them, and the way these services work, let's say you're talking about Delete Me, right? I don't know how this one works, but let's say you're talking about Delete Me. You have to give them your information. In order to, thank you, Bachisra. In order to remove your information, they have to have your information. So they're going to ask you for your ID, which means that you're going to be handing your ID to somebody that probably makes $1 a day in another country, a third world country, that has no money, and then you're going to hand them your address, and you're going to hand them all this other information about you, your emails, your everything else, your phone number. Well, what do you think's going to happen if that person that has all that information has a bad day at work because their boss was a dickhead, and they're poor because that's why they're working at this business that's paying them shit so that they can afford to bill you $50 a year for all the services? You're trading one form of data being out there that's bad for another form. And that's my opinion. Again, I could be wrong, but that's the way I see it. Like, do you really want to give all of your personal data? To get your personal data off of the internet, you have to give your personal data to somebody who gets paid jack shit in a third world country that works for a company that that is paying them shit because you're paying shit. Like, you see where I'm going with that? It's just, in my opinion, I would avoid that. And if it was sponsored by a YouTuber, immediately I would increase my my personal skepticism is increased by like 90%. But yours should be increased by at least 25%. Cheers from Canada. Thank you. At some point, I asked out a friend that was out of my league to get over the anxiety of getting rejected for his training. But the fact that you even think the person's out of your league, like, why? Why? Why are you not good enough, right? I sent an email regarding Medtronic, and this, thank you in advance for the time reading. Greetings from Slovenia. Thank you very much. I will check it out, and if I don't check it out, hopefully my assistant will see that I didn't read it. I finally have somebody helping me with all this stuff now. Should have found somebody to help me with this stuff like 15 years ago. How do you edit video on, editing video on Linux is done very, very well with DaVinci Resolve. Why is it out of your league? Why? Why do you think that? Why? Because you make less money? Because you're shorter? Because you don't think you're as cool? Like, why do you have that belief system? You see, if I walk into a room and I see that there are, let's say, 100 men and 2 women, I don't think, oh my God, this is horrible. Look at the ratio. I think, I'm the coolest person here. I'm not going to say this out loud to people, but that has to be my internal dialogue. And then when I talk to people there, I'll see. I'm not talking to you to impress you so that you'll say yes to me asking you out. I'm talking to you to figure out if you're interesting and somebody worth holding a conversation with that will hold my interest before I move on to something else. And again, like, don't go down, like, don't tell yourself that you're not good enough. And the thing is, this is also something that Jim Cam talks about in this book, Start With No. It's having a blank slate. So if you say, I need to get a date out of this. I'm talking to this person to get a date. Oh my God, what happens if I don't get the date? Oh, what is she going to say? I need to say something that's going to make her think this, that, or the other. You're going to put yourself in this horribly stressed situation. It's just going to go poorly. And you're not going to do or say the things you need to say. I don't need to get a date. If I get a date, great. If I don't get a date, I'll spend Friday night working on my C-book or fixing up my e-bike or something else. Like, don't walk around thinking that you're a piece of shit. For me, if a YouTuber does a paid ad for something, instant no. Same here, bro. Same here. You see me getting paid to advertise shit in this channel, run the fuck away from it. You can clip that shit and play it from now until the end of time if I ever start doing paid ads. You see me advertising something where somebody gave me money, and in exchange for giving me money, I'm telling you to use this product. Whatever the fuck I said is probably complete bullshit. Like, never forget that. Never forget that. You show us your movie media setup. I did in the video for this guide. You want to see my video setup, man? You want to see my setup? You want to see it? You can't handle my setup. Here. Check it out, my man. Check it out. I'll show you. Here you go, man. Here you go. Oh, I think it said, how many hours in here? How many hours into this fucking video? Like 7 hours into the second 7-hour video. Yeah, here. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Bro, the rabbit hole goes deep, man. The rabbit hole goes deep. Wiki.fudo.org. Wiki.fudo.org. You said you do ad reads for greenies. Mr. Clinton, I'll make an exception. But that's the thing, though. When I do ad reads for Mr. Clinton's not for sale. I do ad reads for the good of my cat. Yeah, you want to learn how to become a complete paranoid schizo? Read this. It's all there. All there. I didn't meet my wife until after I decided I was content being single for the rest of my life. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you and say, you need to be okay with being single. You need to be okay with being alone. Because being alone sucks. I mean, it's kind of like if somebody... you need water, right? You need food. And you need people. There's a reason that solitary confinement is a form of torture. So when people come up to you and say, you need to be okay being alone, I'm like, fuck, that's bullshit advice. That would be like me saying, you need to be okay without water. You can't be okay without water. These are things people need. Depriving somebody of water is torture. Depriving somebody of social access or socialization is also torture. Being alone, I'm not going to say not having a date on Friday night is torture. But to a degree, it's being alone. But at the same time, you can't go in every single situation thinking, I'm a schmuck, this person's out of my league, I'm going to talk to them to see if it goes well and I get a date, and then it goes badly. You can't do that. Think about what makes you a decent person. My property management adopted an AI whose privacy statement says it's allowed to collect browsing history, login, and financial information. I never agreed to any terms, and they won't let me opt out. How is this legal? I don't know. I would stop paying rent for a while. I would probably stop paying rent for a while. Yeah. If the person that I'm talking to, if I walk, like, what did I miss about Medtronic? I don't know anything about Medtronic. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah, if I walked into a room or I go to a party or I go to an event and I talk to a woman there and I don't think it's a particularly great conversation or not going well, you're not that interesting to me. Move on to somebody who is. It's not my job to dance for you. It's not my job to think, oh, I'm out of this person's league. Let me see if I'm going to ask you for something, and then no. You're not asking this person for something and then hoping that they give you a gold star and maybe I'll get a gold star next time. That's not how this works. You should seek to get a positive out of these things in life. Like it's not a test. It's not a trial. Let me have a conversation and see if it's interesting. If you're not interesting or I'm not feeling the conversation, to move on to the next one. I want the things that I do in my life to help and benefit me to some way. I'm not just jumping through hoops for people. And I'm definitely not walking around telling people that I'm not worth it. Or telling myself I'm not worth it as I talk to other people. And you shouldn't either. You're not proving yourself to them. It's a two-way street. They got to prove that they're interesting and useful to you. If you're talking to somebody and they're like, and you don't think they're really that interested, it's not you're failing them. It's not like you're failing to entertain them. It's they are also not somebody who's entertaining and exciting and happy to you. Thank you, Lewis, for telling me to accept the Washington State Right to Repair bill signing invite. It was an interesting experience. Yeah. Also, Ryan, I just got to take this opportunity to apologize to you because you send me you are so incredibly involved in Right to Repair all the time. You are so incredibly excited about it. You send me all these messages going over all this stuff, and it's really good stuff, and I don't reply to you a lot. My phone's notifications are a clusterfuck. Similar to this chat where I'm reading chat from 524, I don't know how to do social media stuff like this properly, and I let a lot of stuff fall off the treadmill. But of all the stuff to fall off the treadmill, you should not. Because if you check out his channel, Ryan Labs on YouTube, he goes to all these hearings. He is constantly testing new laws with new companies, especially Hacko. I find that shit hysterical. And ever since Hacko said I was doing my audience a disservice by not reviewing the FR 810 station, which cost 4 times as much as everything else and was a complete alarm clock piece of shit, I've been slightly less nice to them since then. I was nice to them for years. always talked up their products. They have the gall to send me an email saying I'm doing my audience a disservice because I didn't review one of their overpriced pieces of shit. Fuck you. I was doing you a favor by not reviewing that piece of shit, you asshole. Anyway, Hackle, not Ryan Labs, but yeah, I'm sorry that I haven't taken that. That is a feeling of guilt when I see your notifications that I don't read and engage with them. There was a lot of burnout that occurred for me during 2020 and then the beginning of 2021 that I never fully recovered from in certain areas. Any advice for helping women? Helping women what? Do you mean you helping a woman with something? Do you mean helping women in general with their lives? Do you mean helping women date? I need something to work with. I should not be giving advice to anybody, to be clear. My advice is worth... my advice is not worth much, but I need something more to go with. Okay, I'm going to miss so many comments in the main chat now. Boo. About 87 at this point in time. There's a lot of freaking fish in there. Oh, boy. Let's see how many fish are in there. Look at the fishy. Aren't they cute? That's my fishy. I love my fishy. Whoa! That's a big one right there. Here we go. I'm going to pin this. No, I can't post a link. That's lame. I'll only post a link in my own damn chat. Inspired me to flip off trackers and ads. Got an open WRT router. Best move ever. Thanks for the push. Fuck ads. Fuck ads. Oh, you full spectrum, get on the wiki. Yes. That's a great way to put it. Consumerrights.wiki. Your tough guy persona mixed with empathy makes you a unique and treasurable energy in this world. And there's precious few of you. You are a hero to me. I don't have heroes, and especially not like me. But thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like I have a lot of disdain for bullies and an infinite amount of empathy and sympathy for people that are well-meaning. And a lot of disdain for people who try to take advantage of them. I think that that guides a lot of what I do in life. Combined with a sense of, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to try very hard to do it. Like when Apple was telling people, they were telling my customers that if somebody says they can fix your board, or they can fix a board at component level, they're scamming you. Bet. Let's go. I'm going to make you guys look like fools. I don't care if I got to stay up until 5 in the morning, learn how video editing works, do all this shit on camera, figure out how to present. I'm like, you're not saying that. That was in 2013. Like, let's go. Let's have some fun. Yeah, I think stubbornness, a disdain for bullies, and sympathy and empathy for people I believe mean well who are being taken advantage of. I think that guides a lot of what I do. Thank you, Grumpy. Last time I wanted to write something for the wiki, I failed at the captcha thing. I went to the help link that doesn't exist. So if the help link doesn't exist, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to watch. I'm going to, because I don't know how to make my other stuff show up on screen without messing with OBS right now. Here's, if anything at the wiki does not work properly for you, I'm going to show you what you're going to do. You're going to email Keith at consumerrights.wiki and tell him what is broken and provide details and have him fix it. Keith at consumerrights.wiki. That's Keith at consumerrights.wiki. There's also a Discord for it too. Let me see if I can make a link. My links always expire. It really pisses me off. I can't stand Discord. I used it because trying to use Matrix and other platforms was kind of a fail. Like it's very hard to get adoption to other platforms, but I sold my soul. When listening to chat, I put on one of the last dips in the oven for dinner. I'm glad to see you live again. Pleasure to have you here, Ann. Pleasure. Hope everything's going well. I think you were going to Alabama last time I talked to you. Or from Tennessee. Let's see if I can make an invite link. I think I finally figured out what it is. When I make a new invite link on Discord, it expires the old one, which is, I think that's what it is. Working for a boss, what is your opinion on the chances of creating a tech cooperative? Cooperatives like the democratic versions of companies. What do you mean by the chances of? Like, I mean, anybody can make some. You can make it if you want it. You mean chances of success, or the reason my business is still a company and not like a cooperative is I lost a good amount of my hair spending years of my life working until 1 or 4 in the morning at the like, and that's that's for me to be the owner. Sorry, man. Now, if I was starting from scratch with a bunch of people that were on my level, I would totally be open for making a cooperative. But at this point, I mean, I own a company. A lot of people don't own a company, but I also did not have my 20s, right? Like, for a good portion of my life, I would have like my girlfriend messaging me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning going, when are you coming home? I want to do something. Let's do something. And then I get home and she'd finally be excited. She'd wake up. She'd think I'm coming to bed and I'd go back and I'd be answering freaking emails and shit and she'd just go back to sleep. And like when I think about my biggest regrets over the past 20 years of my life, like, those are the things that I regret the most. And if I could trade being a company owner, or if I could be somebody that made $8 an hour, had 2 roommates and $500 in the bank, but trade that for having not done that in my 20s to the people that cared about me, I would do that immediately. See, if I were starting from scratch with people that were on the same level as me, no problem doing a cooperative. If I'm in the position I am now, where like to get to where I am now, I kind of traded a lot of the things in life that I think are worth far more than being a business owner or having money. Yeah, I get to be the owner. Sorry, man. Like, I mean, the people that work for me are amazing. They're great. They're really good at what they do. They're awesome. They also come to work at 11, leave at 7, and they leave work at the door when they go home. And they have weekends off and holidays. Like, yeah. And they started getting paid the full salary the first day they started. If you want to be the owner, then it comes with the risk and the aggravation. If I were starting from scratch, though, I would, like, if I was starting from scratch today with some random new thing and I was starting with people that were kind of on the same level, I would most likely do some sort of workers' cooperative thing. This company is practically run like it's very similar to that right now. I don't have a say in much of anything at this point. I kind of let them do everything, and I also believe I'm the lowest paid employee at my own company right now. But that's a subject for another video. Okay, let me, oh my God, the last chat that's in my YouTube live chat window is 5:33. Whoa, I just skipped past everything. Oh, this is so broken. I'm also so behind. Dear Jesus. This chat window won't let me hit enter either. I actually cannot add a URL to my own live chat. Let's see what happens if wow, even if I take out the URL pieces, I can't post into it. That's broken. Lewis does not show the telltale signs of a drug user, maybe an excess coffee drinker. I can't drink coffee. Coffee fucks me up. I can't do stimulants, anything like that. I had a quarter of a cup of coffee a year ago, and I wound up staying up until 4 in the morning with this little fish wire thing, and I was going through my house trying to figure out if I could fit Ethernet through the walls where the electrical wires and the coax was going, and there was some fiber optic fish wire thing, and I was up until 4 in the morning trying to figure this out with my eyes completely open. I had a quarter cup of coffee. The rest of it was in the fridge. I can't do it. I don't know how people drink coffee. That stuff it's horrible. You think I talk fast now? Oh my God. I sound like that guy that did Michael Jackson's Bad in 18 seconds on the news back in the 80s if I drank coffee. Thank you, Bright Lights. Why don't you become the mayor of New York City? I would never get elected. I would be very miserable. There are a lot of problems that I could not fix as one person in 2025 that the city has had brewing for over 70 years. I would be miserable. I would have to live in New York. And above all, I would not win. So I would torture myself for nothing. Which domain registrar would you recommend going with? I used to recommend Namecheap, but they're garbage now. Namecheap is horrible. Hello. Don't talk shit about coffee. You know what happens if you drink coffee? You tell people to live stream on a platform that they're not allowed to. Why? I haven't answered all the questions yet. I'm behind by 20 minutes. I have to get to the end of the questions. That's why every time I live stream, it's forever, because I say I'm going to live stream and I answer all the questions. Oh, yeah, work. Fuck. Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, shit. There actually is work to do. Okay, I'll get to let's see. I'll read through these very quickly. Fuck. Yeah, I actually do have to go to work. Shit. Okay. It's this building of general. BWE stuff. BWE crap. Answer that. Answer this. The worst relationship I ever had were the ones where I did the hard sell and talked the girl into going out with me. At work, but it was a total waste of time. You should not have to sell somebody on one. Okay, so, but you still love us. What? Okay, I appreciate the $10, but what the fuck kind of question is that, bro? Okay, let's be real here. So, if for me, the thing that I find the most fun about being in a relationship by far, aside from obviously getting along with, one of the most fun things is that the person I'm with wants to be with me. So if I have to, there should be no hard sell, right? That's why I don't enjoy doing the thing where like I'm going up to a bunch of people and I ask all of you out. That's not fun to me. That's lame. Like going on a fucking application and reading people saying shit like I like movies and I like eating and I like the park and I like travel and I like Nick. No, like I don't know anything about you from this. How do I know if you're fucking interesting? How do I know if you're the type of person that parks in a fucking handicap space and argues about it? How do I know if you're emotionally available? How do I know if you think things through before you come to a conclusion? How do I know if your judgment of people is based on actually getting to know them or based on a very surface level kind of stereotype? I have no fucking clue. I don't know if you're worth my time. And above all, I don't want to I don't want to sell myself to you, right? Do something worthwhile. Find shit to cats are at home. Find something worth doing. Find shit to spend your time on. While you're doing things that are worth your time, you're going to be meeting people that are probably doing similar shit to you. You're going to meet people that naturally gravitate to you, that want to talk to you. And when you find people that want to talk to you, you talk to them, and then you go from there. I don't want to ask random people out. I'm not going on Tinder. I'm not asking somebody out that I just meet at a party immediately. I don't know you. I have to know you first. And more importantly, I have to know that you're actually interested. I ask people out that are that I find are very interested in me. I can't imagine. I've made this mistake too. I made this mistake when I was younger, and I stumbled and I fucked up my life over it. The most fun part of a relationship is being with somebody that wants to be with you, that finds you so interesting they want to be around you, right? There should be no tough sell, no hard sell. Never do that. And again, this goes for every gender, whatever your sexual orientation is, sexual identity, whatever the hell. The person you're with should want to be with you. That's the most attractive thing in the world. If they want to be with you and you enjoy being with them, that's love. If you're hard selling them on being with you and you're excited when they finally stay with you, that's attachment. Read a book called Amir Levine's Attached. And you'll read this section on the avoidant attachment style and then learn what that is. Learn when you are attached to somebody and rather than like in love with them, and run away from that shit because it'll like this don't do that. You shouldn't have to sell somebody on liking you. You're good enough as you are. Really. I mean, you could probably improve on a few things. I'm sure you could dress a little better, maybe go to the gym a little more often, work a little bit more at your job. But you're decent enough as it is. You shouldn't have to sell me on why you're worth going out with. You are good enough as you are. Find people, do something with your life so that you're around people that will eventually find you and find you good enough as you are. Like, don't sell people on yourself. That's bullshit. You sell people vacuum cleaners. You sell people Raycons. You sell people NordVPN. You sell people Audible. You don't sell people yourself as a marriage prospect. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be a YouTuber. No, I should say, don't be an influencer. In your dating life, you are not an influencer. You are not trying to sell fucking affiliate sponsorships of something. Don't sell yourself like you're NordVPN, man. You want to be the Molvad. You want to be the people that people go to, even if they don't pay any YouTubers for the sponsorship. You know that? Be Molvad. Don't be NordVPN. That's the best dating advice I could ever give you. Be Molvad, not NordVPN. Okay, I really do have to end this fucking video because there's other shit to do. And my live chat window stopped working. I wonder if that was her sabotaging it so I would go to work. Yeah, I literally can't even see my window anymore. Where'd it go? I think she sabotaged it. My live chat window is not working anymore. I reloaded the studio page and now it doesn't work anymore. Uh-oh. Yeah, she probably destroyed it. This is my computer's way of saying, go to work. If you guys are saying shit right now, I can't see any of it. Fuckity. Uh-oh. Browser crashed and everything. Here we go. Yeah, it's back. Yeah, I'll try to do more live streams. Don't sell yourself because relationship based on that will be conditional. Yeah, fuck that. You want to be with somebody that's excited to be with you, that's running towards being with you, that's jumping over walls to be with you. Much love, bro. And you good enough. I guarantee you good enough as you are. You are good enough as you are. And fuck everybody that thinks that, you know what? Oh, wait, one sec. I just got to ban some jackasses. Fuck you. You get to go. Anyway. One sec. Let's see. Loser. 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 Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, it's still going. Holy crap. I met you at LTX, took a photo of you with my mirrorless and being a noob with it. It was out of focus, but still treasure it. That's awesome, Jack. Thank you so much. You're the hero. We don't deserve. I don't think I'm a hero. I'm a bum. Don't look up to me. Let's see. Yeah, I'm so far behind. Okay, I finally got the window to reload. So. Yeah, a lot of you got to read Amir Levine's Attached. Read that book. That's going to be useful for all of you. That's your homework. I usually tell people to read Jim Cam Star with no. Amir Levine Attached. That's your homework before I do the next video. All right? Okay, thank you, Legit Jeff. Amir Levine Attached. That's your homework. Read that book. Okay. Your mic gain is low. It's fine, bro. You just turn up the volume. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. You're good. I turn it up, you say it's distorted. I turn it down, you can't hear me. Oh, you're good. You'll figure it out, I'm sure. You got a volume up. Okay, I got to get back to work. This is supposed to be 20 minutes. Holy shit, it's an hour and 43. Okay, see you in the next one. Consumerrights.wiki. Here. You're gonna consumerrights.wiki. Go here. Find this. Join. Make the articles better. Thank you, Jack Tallman. That's really nice. But help me with this. Please. I need your help.